On today's lesson, I'm going to share the one thing you're likely not doing that could lead to massive improvement in your tennis game. And then I'm going to share a few double tips from one of my recent online lessons. So let's get started. There are literally dozens of things you can do to improve the game of tennis. But if I could only pick one for my players, it would easily be watching video of themselves both practicing and playing matches. I honestly think at this point, I have way more success with people I coach remotely versus in person because they're not obsessed with the immediate gratification of how they hit the ball. They're visualizing themselves playing, they're seeing their patterns of play, and then they're getting very accurate, detailed information about what they actually need to work on because they're watching their own matches and seeing how they both win and lose points. So on today's lesson, I'm going to share a few short clips from some recent Zoom lessons with my remote students to show you how we break down the footwork, the technique, the positioning, and the timing of poaches so they can improve their doubles game. One thing that might be difficult, but it's necessary if you can do it, is when you're getting in this poaching position, that you are sitting as low as you can when they're striking the ball. Because the first person that pops the ball up is probably going to lose the point. So you're wanting to get this ball and you're wanting to put it right at his feet if possible. So let's go ahead and slow this down. Love the poach. Now, again, we want our right foot hitting there when the ball is struck. So you're a little far from the center. This is a little late for me. Doesn't mean it's not going to work out because sometimes balls go right where you need them to go. But if we're trying to be like perfect and elite at this, our right foot would be about there. We know you still get this volley. I would like to see if you can just get a touch lower so you almost feel like you're hitting down. So you're going a lot sideways. And obviously when people get stretched, they tend to open their racket. I'd like a little more forward momentum and almost like only like your head up here is above the net. So our best volleyers at Duke were just always spiking this way. Right now, you're doing a great poach, great return, great move. You're going to the right spot. But then this volley is like almost on the way up when it gets him. And it, like, honestly, it's perfect. It's unlucky. Like, if you would hit that a foot to the right, it would have been on the throat of his racket. He would have had to make a weird adjustment. He probably misses it. Like, we went in the perfect spot where his racket was, but it's also high, right? So if we're just saying, hey, take the randomness out of this one and go, hey, we don't even want to give a guy a chance, then we've got to get lower, a little bit closer, and feel like that ball's going to bounce a yard in front of him. Then he has no chance to get lucky like this. There's zero downside. So I'm going to move better. I'm going to be more balanced. All volleys are going to be at eye level. I'm going to see them better. I'm going to be able to hit down a little bit more. And then if they hit the ball high, it's very easy to stand up. But if you're up high and then all of a sudden they hit a ball low, you're not going to sink down low in time to spike it. All you're going to do is just drop your racket. So if you go, well, oh, like I was unnecessarily low, cool. I guarantee that didn't hurt you because you just stood up after. So that is something we coach is like we almost want that net tape to be kind of like chest level. And so we're super low. And then when we're moving, like you said, it's going to make you more explosive and it's going to make the volley a hell of a lot easier. So this is a big thing, and this kind of came back to timing the poach and why you're not getting some balls. Okay, love the move. Boom, right by your racket. Okay, insane shot by your partner, by the way. So if we're breaking it down, you're in the air when you need to be on the ground to explode. So grade your starting position, please. Okay, so I'm going to give you a pass for that right now. You've already called the poach. So we want to make sure we have one step forward. It's off a serve. It's not like we're going to have 5 seconds to move. You're going to have about a second, which means I got time to take one aggressive step forward and then that little shift to the middle. I don't have time for 4 steps, right? So it's going to be an aggressive step forward and then my little pivot to the middle. That's all I got time for. So I want you to watch how you actually, there's no reason to have this extra split. So see how you're splitting there? So you just robbed yourself. We have 1 second to get the step forward and the pivot. And right now you just took out like 4/10 to half a second because you're just jumping. Right? So when you see the returning opponent and they're kind of moving forward and they're about to split step, that means your partner's in his toss. One thing that I used to do is when I saw them kind of creeping forward for the split, I was creeping forward at the net. Like something's about to happen. I know the ball's about to get hit. And obviously, the higher the level, the less time you have. So if I need to
Mhm.
get forward, that's when I was getting forward. You might have a little bit more time at this 3-5, 4-0, 4-5 level, but you still want to use your time effectively. So right now, you're splitting. You see him and you heard the ball and you're splitting, but it's too early to split. So we've wasted a little time there. Now, when this ball right
Yeah.
now is when your right foot should be on the ground ready to plant,
Right.
but you're still in the process of landing. And really, I would say there is when you're ready to make an aggressive dive for the ball. So if we look at where that return is, we really don't need a dive at all. That's exactly how I'd feed you the ball if you lived here in Charleston. But that ball is going to get by you just because you're late. And I would say the primary culprit is that unnecessary split step. But then also just like telling yourself, all I really have time for anyway is one aggressive step forward and then that pivot to the middle. And we want the right foot to be in that position, probably when the ball is like 4 feet off his racket. I say when he's striking the ball, but the reality is it's not exactly true. It's just kind of like a mindset thing. So that ball is 15 feet past where we need to be. And now you made all the courage to move, and we're not in play for that ball. If I was going to try to break it down even farther, like you're doing a very good job of starting pretty close, which minimizes because your right foot, for me to be perfect, is probably right there. A foot off of the net and a foot from the center line. So it's not like you have to travel this long distance. I probably want to be at this marker, right? A little closer, but in a straight line, like the J or the L we're talking about, as the ball is bouncing on his side. So it's a serve. So, like I said, when I see him creeping forward, that's probably when I'm going to be creeping forward to that spot. So when that his serve hits the ground, now I haven't moved laterally at all, but now I'm closer to the net. So I've done part of my work already on the poach. And depending on the speed of the serve, depends on when you make that move. So if your partner had the slowest serve in the world, I would still move forward to the second line by the time of the bounce. And then I would just wait there for a half second while his slow, pathetic serve gets to him. And then right when the guy's about to drop his racket, that's when I would make the move and be on the ground here. If you're still with me at this point in the video, hopefully that means you're going to make a new commitment to watch yourself both practice and play live matches. And if you want my help guiding you through this process, you can obviously visit StokeyTennisCoaching.com, where I work with players one-on-one all the time. It's been an absolute blast for me. And honestly, like I said earlier, I think I see bigger gains with my remote students than I see with players in person. And if you aren't committed to watching video of yourself moving forward, at least you can settle for watching this video that I have of how to pull off an upset against a better player.